My beloved child. The moment you pressed play, something shifted in the invisible world around you, because this message is not random, and you are not here by accident. You have been feeling it lately, that quiet heaviness in your chest, that strange pull in your heart that arrives without explanation. You tried to ignore it. You distracted yourself. You smiled when people asked if you were fine. But deep inside, you knew something was off. Tonight, this message is finding you because your soulmate is reaching out in the only way they can right now. Not with words you can hear, but with energy you can feel. There is a reason your mind keeps returning to the same thoughts, the same memories, the same questions. There is a reason your sleep has been lighter, your dreams more vivid, your emotions closer to the surface. This is not weakness. This is connection. Somewhere, someone who is deeply tied to your soul is struggling, and that struggle is echoing inside you. You may not know their face yet, or you may know them too well, but the bond exists beyond time, beyond distance, beyond logic. You are feeling their unrest because your souls recognize each other even when the world keeps you apart. And yes, before you doubt this, understand one thing clearly. You would not be listening to this right now if it were not meant for you. This message does not chase everyone. It waits. It waits for the exact moment your heart is open enough to receive it. Listen carefully now, because what I am about to tell you is not comfortable, but it is necessary. Your soulmate is carrying a weight they have not shared with anyone. On the outside, they appear calm, functional, maybe even strong. But inside, there is confusion, fear, and a deep sense of loss they cannot name. They feel as if something essential is missing from their life, and that missing piece is you. Even if they do not consciously realize it, their soul does. They are at a crossroads right now, facing choices that could shape their future in ways they do not fully understand. They are questioning their worth, their direction, and whether love, real love, is even possible for them. This is where you come in. Not by rushing toward them physically, not by forcing contact, but by holding space energetically. Your calm matters. Your faith matters. Your ability to stay grounded matters more than you know. Every time you choose hope instead of bitterness, you send them strength. Every time you choose patience instead of fear, you ease their burden. This is the part no one talks about. Soulmates do not only meet to enjoy love. They meet to survive storms together, sometimes before they ever stand face to face. Your job right now is not to fix them. Your job is to remain you, steady, open, and aligned, because your stability is the signal they are unconsciously searching for. Now hear this, and do not let your mind rush past it. The pain you have been experiencing recently is not punishment. It is preparation. You have been shedding old versions of yourself, old expectations, old attachments that could never support the kind of connection you are about to step into. That loneliness you felt even in crowded rooms was not because you were unlovable. It was because your soul refused to settle for shallow bonds. You are wired for depth, for truth, for a love that does not require performance. Your soulmate senses this, even now. They are drawn toward the idea of someone who sees without judging, who listens without trying to control, who loves without conditions. That is why they feel exposed lately, as if life is peeling them open layer by layer. It is uncomfortable because it is real. And here is the revelation most people never hear. The stronger the soulmate bond, the more intense the period before union becomes. The universe tests both of you separately, not to break you, but to strip away everything false. This phase feels endless, but it is not. It is precise. It is intentional. And it is almost complete. There is something else you must understand, and this may surprise you. Your soulmate does not need you to be perfect. They need you to be present. They need you to stop doubting your intuition and start trusting the quiet guidance that has been nudging you forward. That sudden urge to change a habit, to let go of a connection, to speak your truth more clearly, that is not random. Those impulses are aligning you with the frequency where reunion becomes possible. At the same time, your soulmate is being pushed to confront their fears, their avoidance, and their tendency to run when things get deep. They are learning, often the hard way, that comfort without authenticity feels empty. You may notice signs around you, repeated numbers, familiar songs appearing at unexpected moments, memories resurfacing out of nowhere. These are not coincidences. These are reminders that the bond is active, alive, and moving closer to manifestation. The universe is arranging circumstances, conversations, and realizations on both sides, quietly and relentlessly. Even the delays you are frustrated by are serving a purpose you cannot fully see yet. Stay with me now, because this is where the message sharpens. There will be a moment, sooner than you think, when your soulmate reaches an emotional breaking point. Not a collapse, but an awakening. In that moment, they will finally understand what they have been missing, and why nothing else has felt quite right. When that realization hits, they will need courage, and that courage will come from the connection they feel with you. This is why you must not harden your heart now. Do not let temporary silence convince you that the bond is fading. Silence, in this case, is transformation happening behind the scenes. When the time comes, the meeting, the message, or the reconnection will feel strangely natural, as if it was always supposed to happen this way. Until then, your role is sacred. Keep choosing growth over resentment. Keep choosing faith over fear. Keep choosing love, even when it feels invisible. Because your soulmate is asking for help in the only language the soul knows, and you are already answering, simply by being here, listening, and staying open to what comes next. Something unseen is moving closer now, and you can feel it in the pauses between your thoughts. There is a quiet pressure in the air, a sense that time itself has slowed down just to make space for what is about to unfold. This is not anxiety. This is anticipation. Your soulmate has reached the edge of a realization they can no longer escape. The life they have been living, the routines they trusted, the compromises they accepted, all of it suddenly feels hollow to them. They are beginning to notice how often their mind drifts toward an unknown presence, how often their heart feels restless without reason. That presence is you. Even without knowing your name or hearing your voice, they feel watched over, guided, and strangely understood. This is the phase where confusion turns into clarity, where longing turns into direction. And here is the part most people miss. When two souls are truly aligned, recognition begins long before introduction. It begins as a feeling of being incomplete in a world that once felt sufficient. That is exactly where they are standing right now. At this moment, your soulmate is questioning everything they thought they wanted. Achievements that once mattered feel empty. Praise that once satisfied them fades too quickly. They are realizing that success without connection feels like standing at the top of a mountain alone. They are tired of pretending they are fulfilled when they are not. And this exhaustion is sacred. It is the breakdown that makes truth unavoidable. They are starting to crave depth, honesty, and emotional safety more than validation. They are asking themselves why they feel drawn toward vulnerability after years of avoiding it. Why the idea of real intimacy now feels necessary instead of terrifying. The answer is simple but powerful. Their soul is preparing to meet its mirror. You. At the same time, you may feel a sudden urge to simplify your life, to remove distractions, to create inner space. That is not coincidence. That is synchronization. Two separate journeys narrowing into one shared path. Now pay attention, because this part carries weight. There is a message your soulmate wants you to receive, even if they cannot speak it yet. They are saying they are sorry. Sorry for the delays. Sorry for the confusion. Sorry for the times their fear created distance instead of closeness. They are learning that love is not something to control or postpone, but something to step into with courage. They are learning that protecting the heart by closing it off only creates deeper wounds. This realization is changing them from the inside out. You might sense this shift as a sudden softening in your own heart, a release of resentment you did not even realize you were holding. That is because forgiveness is already flowing between you, silently, naturally. This is how true soul bonds heal before reunion. Not through confrontation, but through understanding. Not through force, but through resonance. There is also a warning woven gently into this message, and it is meant to protect you. Do not rush the process. Do not chase signs or try to decode every moment. Trust the unfolding. The universe does not operate on urgency. It operates on alignment. If you attempt to force timing, you risk meeting before both of you are ready to hold what is being offered. Your soulmate is still shedding old defenses. You are still strengthening your sense of self. This balance matters. When the moment arrives, it will not feel chaotic. It will feel calm, clear, and unmistakably right. You will not need to question it. Recognition will be instant, not dramatic, but deeply grounding. Like coming home after a long journey you did not know you were on. Stay present now, because this is the truth that changes everything. The help your soulmate needs is not rescue. It is reassurance. Reassurance that love does not disappear when things get real. Reassurance that they are worthy of being chosen without conditions. And you are already providing that reassurance by continuing to grow, by continuing to believe, by continuing to keep your heart open in a world that often rewards emotional armor. This phase is nearing its end. The silence will break. The distance will close. And when it does, you will understand why everything had to happen exactly this way. Until then, remain steady. Remain aware. Remain open. Because what is approaching is not just a meeting. It is a turning point that will redefine how both of you understand love, connection, and yourselves forever. There is a silence right now that feels heavier than noise, and this silence is intentional. It is the pause before truth reveals itself. Your soulmate is standing in a moment where distractions no longer work, where excuses no longer soothe, and where running feels more painful than staying still. They are being forced to sit with their own heart. In that stillness, your presence is becoming clearer to them, not as a fantasy, not as an idea, but as a necessity. They are beginning to understand that some connections do not fade with time, because they were never created by circumstance. They were created by alignment. This is why the thought of you feels steady instead of overwhelming, calming instead of confusing. Even without knowing how or when, they sense that you represent safety, truth, and something real in a world that has felt increasingly artificial to them. Right now, your soulmate is learning a difficult lesson about loss. Not the loss of people, but the loss of versions of themselves that no longer fit. They are letting go of who they thought they had to be to survive. The strong one. The distant one. The one who never needs help. This shedding feels uncomfortable, sometimes even frightening, because it removes familiar armor. But beneath that armor is a heart that has always wanted to be seen, understood, and chosen without conditions. You are feeling this transformation too, perhaps as sudden clarity, or as a deep tiredness of pretending you are unaffected by things that matter to you. This shared experience is not accidental. When two souls prepare to meet, they often experience parallel awakenings, each in their own space, each in their own way, yet moving toward the same truth. There is something important you must hear now, and it may change how you view everything that has happened so far. The delays were not rejections. The distance was not indifference. It was protection. Protection from meeting too early, when wounds were still open and expectations still unclear. Protection from repeating patterns that could have damaged something sacred. Your soulmate is starting to see this now. They are realizing that what they once perceived as bad timing was actually precise timing. This realization brings both relief and regret, because awareness always does. But regret does not live here long. It transforms into intention. And intention is powerful. When intention aligns with readiness, movement becomes inevitable. As this awareness deepens, your soulmate is feeling a pull toward honesty that cannot be ignored. They are questioning their choices, their silence, and the moments they held back instead of stepping forward. This self-reflection is not meant to punish them. It is meant to mature them. Love that lasts is not built by perfection. It is built by accountability. You may notice a shift within yourself too, a stronger sense of boundaries paired with a softer heart. This balance is crucial. It means you are no longer willing to abandon yourself for connection, and that is exactly what makes the connection possible. Soulmates do not come together to complete each other. They come together to walk side by side, whole and aware. Now stay with this final truth for this part, because it carries weight. The moment of contact is approaching, but it will not arrive with chaos or confusion. It will arrive with recognition. A calm knowing. A sense of inevitability. When it happens, you will understand why patience was required, why growth was necessary, and why faith mattered more than speed. Until that moment, continue to honor your path. Continue to listen to your intuition. Continue to trust the quiet guidance that led you here. Because your soulmate is no longer lost. They are finding their way. And the closer they come to themselves, the closer they come to you. There is a moment when the soul gets tired of hiding, and that moment has arrived. Your soulmate can no longer distract themselves from the truth that keeps rising inside them. The late nights feel heavier. The quiet moments feel louder. Even in the middle of ordinary days, there is a sense that something important is missing, something essential that no achievement or routine can replace. This is not confusion anymore. This is recognition forming. They are starting to understand that the emptiness they tried to outrun was never about failure or lack. It was about misalignment. Their soul has been calling for its counterpart, and now that call is impossible to ignore. You may feel this shift as well, a strange calm mixed with intensity, as if your heart knows something significant is drawing closer. That feeling is not imagination. It is preparation. When two souls approach alignment, the noise of the world fades, and what remains is clarity that cannot be unlearned. Your soulmate is beginning to replay moments in their mind, moments where they almost listened to their intuition but chose comfort instead. There is no self-hate here, only awareness. Awareness sharpens perception. They are realizing that every time they avoided depth, they delayed the one connection that could truly meet them where they are. This realization is humbling. It strips away pride and replaces it with sincerity. They are learning that strength is not distance. Strength is presence. Strength is showing up even when the outcome is uncertain. You, at the same time, are stepping into a version of yourself that no longer begs for recognition. You are standing firmer in who you are, clearer in what you deserve. This is not coincidence. This is balance being restored on both sides. When one soul learns to open, the other learns to stand tall. This is how union becomes stable instead of overwhelming. Now understand this clearly, because it changes how you hold the waiting. The universe has been watching how you respond to uncertainty. Not to test your patience, but to teach you trust. Every time you chose growth instead of bitterness, you moved closer. Every time you resisted the urge to force outcomes, you aligned more deeply with what is meant for you. Your soulmate is sensing this steadiness. Even without contact, they feel drawn toward the calm you carry. It feels different from attraction they have known before. This pull is not urgent or chaotic. It is grounding. It feels safe. That safety is rare, and it is powerful. It is the kind of energy that invites someone to finally stop running and start choosing. There is something else unfolding quietly now. Your soulmate is becoming aware that love is not a risk to survive, but a truth to step into. This awareness is changing how they see the future. They are no longer asking if they deserve connection. They are asking how to honor it. This shift matters. It means they are moving from fear into responsibility. From avoidance into intention. You may feel a corresponding shift in yourself, a readiness that feels calm instead of desperate. You are not waiting anymore. You are allowing. This difference is subtle, but it changes everything. Allowing creates space. Space allows things to arrive naturally, without resistance, without confusion, without force. Hold this final message close as this part ends. What is coming is not dramatic. It is not chaotic. It is not built on chasing or proving. It is built on recognition, respect, and timing that feels undeniably right. Your soulmate is no longer asleep to the call of their heart. And you are no longer questioning your worth. These two truths are moving toward each other now, quietly but steadily. Stay open. Stay grounded. Stay true to yourself. Because the distance that once felt endless is closing, and when it does, you will see that nothing was wasted, nothing was delayed without reason, and nothing about this journey was accidental. My beloved child. There comes a phase when the soul stops asking questions and starts receiving answers, and you are standing at the doorway of that phase now. The waiting has changed you. It has refined your patience, sharpened your awareness, and taught you the difference between desire and destiny. You are no longer restless in the same way. You are alert, grounded, and quietly ready. Your soulmate feels this shift like a signal turning green. They sense that the space between you is no longer filled with confusion, but with clarity. This is why their thoughts of you feel steadier now, less painful, more purposeful. They are no longer reaching out in desperation. They are moving forward with intention. This is the moment when longing transforms into direction, and direction transforms into action. Right now, your soulmate is understanding something that once felt impossible to grasp. Love is not something that traps them. Love is something that frees them. They are recognizing how often they confused control with safety, distance with strength. Those illusions are dissolving. In their place is a quiet courage, the kind that does not announce itself but moves anyway. They are preparing themselves internally, adjusting expectations, releasing fear-driven narratives, and making peace with vulnerability. This internal work matters more than any external gesture. You may feel this as a sudden sense of emotional relief, as if pressure you carried without realizing it is slowly lifting. That relief is confirmation. When two souls align internally, the external world follows without struggle. There is also a truth you must hear without hesitation. The connection approaching you will not require you to shrink. You will not need to prove your worth, perform your value, or silence your needs. Your soulmate is learning how to meet you without defense, without masks, without games. This is why everything before now had to fall apart. Half-formed connections. Almost right people. Situations that drained more than they gave. They were clearing space. Not punishing you. Preparing you. You were never meant to beg for love. You were meant to be recognized by it. And recognition is coming from a place that sees you fully, not partially. As this alignment completes, you may notice a strange stillness in your life. Fewer dramatic emotions. Less urgency. More presence. Do not mistake this for emptiness. This stillness is integration. It is the calm before something meaningful arrives, not with noise, but with certainty. Your soulmate is moving through the same stillness, learning to trust calm instead of chaos. This shared emotional frequency is rare. It is what allows a connection to last instead of burn out. When the moment arrives, you will not feel overwhelmed. You will feel grounded. You will not question signs. You will recognize truth. Hold this final awareness as you continue forward. You did not imagine this journey. You did not make it up to feel better. You were guided here because your soul is ready to receive what it has always known was possible. Your soulmate no longer needs to ask for help. They are becoming the version of themselves who can walk toward you without fear. And you are becoming the version of yourself who can receive them without doubt. What comes next is not a chase. It is a meeting. And it will feel like nothing you have ever experienced before, because it will finally feel right.